Yo, what is up? It's your boy AM coming to you with an AM vlog. In today's vlog, I'm going to cover my own personal history, and I'm going to tell you some stories about Halloween growing up in AM's family. One of the things that was very unique is that my mother didn't allow us to wear any mask or buy us any costume. We always had to do homemade style costumes. So if you wanted to be anything particular, you would have to plan ahead of time. She would buy us face paint, but that was the extent of it. Like, $5 there and that's it. If you wanted blood, you couldn't really get blood. You would have to draw it on. So it was very limited what we could do. And it was pretty rough, growing up with those restrictions, because you would have to use a lot of creativity to find something that was pretty cool. And a lot of times you were just scrounging. And what usually ended up happening was I would not plan ahead of time, and then Halloween would be 3 days away and I couldn't figure out what I was going to be. So a lot of times I would just end up being something that was not really cool. And basically I would be a sheet ghost. I would take a white sheet and I cut the holes out of her eyes, and I would walk around and be a ghost and then get candy throughout the night. And that's probably one of the worst costumes to get, because you can barely even see out of the eyes and you didn't have your arms free, and so it was pretty difficult to maneuver Halloween. And in the town that I grew up in, which is Cameron, Arizona, Halloween is kind of one of the biggest holidays there. The whole town will go out and then they'll do a lot of trick-or-treating. And in Cameron, it's a really small town that's located in the middle of the desert. So there's only one street, and that street we lived on. So everybody would come to our house and trick-or-treat in that small little town. And so we would always have to have candy, and if you didn't, then you would get a lot of pranks pulled on you. Sometimes, it would get pretty crazy where we would run out pretty quickly, and then my parents would have to use the candy that we got from our trick-or-treating and had to refill the buckets. And so it was kind of pretty rough going and growing up. I think a lot of it was financial type stuff. So yeah, the sheet was one of them. For whatever reason, my mom didn't care if we cut holes in the sheet, I would do that probably 4 out of the 5 Halloweens growing up that I would do is do that. Another classic that I would end up doing would be a ninja, but my ninja wasn't as cool as this kid's ninja. I would just wear all black, and then I would make a t-shirt ninja mask. And for those that don't know, a t-shirt ninja mask is you just use the opening on the neck, and then you just put it on your eyes, and then you would tie the arms around the back, and then you would have that ninja mask. And so basically you would wear all black, and then you just wear a ninja mask. And so there's many times where I would go as a ninja, and then you just have to be all black. And so that was an easy go-to costume to make as well. I would say I never had any cool costumes, and I was really jealous of people that had awesome costumes. And now as an adult, the funny thing is I don't buy costumes, even though I want it deep down inside of my soul. But I just always think about what my mom says. It's just she just said you can't buy costumes, so it just stuck with me forever. One time, when I was really young, I went and saw Freddy Krueger with my uncle. For whatever reason, we went to a matinee, and it gave me nightmares. But after a while, I kind of got used to the idea of Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. And then as I got older, I wanted to be Freddy Krueger, and so I had to plan to make my own Freddy Krueger costume. So I did kind of a version like this, homemade, but it didn't go so well because I didn't have all the necessary pieces. Because as you can see here, he has a brown hat, he has the striped shirt. I was able to find a striped shirt or make my own, but I couldn't make a glove knife, or whatever you call it, a knife glove. And because I had to make it all myself, and my parents wouldn't let me use their knives to make it, or butter knives, and I couldn't find a brown glove, so I couldn't make that, and that was really hard. And my parents was never gonna buy me a knife glove, a prop one. And then I didn't have the brown hat, so I ended up wearing a cowboy hat, and then I had to use makeup to make my face look like this. And it didn't really go so well. And so when I was knocking on people's doors, everybody thought I was a rodeo clown because my hat was like a cowboy hat instead of like that brown hat. And then my makeup kind of looked like this because I was trying to make the burn marks on my face, but it didn't really work out. And so everybody's like, "Oh, you're a cute rodeo clown, awesome!" And they would put it in the thing. But you know, deep down in my own heart, I thought I was Freddy Krueger, but it did not look nothing like that. So it was pretty funny. One of the things that I ended up doing, which was pretty cool, was I ended up dressing like Beetlejuice. And so it was pretty similar to what this kid did, but it was just my own hair, but I would color it green, and then, you know, just make makeup on your face, and you just gotta, like, you know, create stripes on your outfit. And you would just get like masking tape, and then you would just make the stripes like that, and you would wear like a little vest jacket or a shirt, a black shirt, and you could become Beetlejuice pretty easily. So that was one costume that I was pretty proud of. There's like pictures of me as Beetlejuice. Another one that kind of hit home too was, you know, I was like the 1980s Joker, the Tim Burton Joker, not the new ones. I was able to do that because that's pretty easy. You just gotta like color your hair green, and then you just put makeup on your face and you wear a suit. And so, you know, that was another costume that was pretty easy to make, was that Joker. But I never had like a purple suit, so it never came off looking pretty awesome. My Beetlejuice costume was pretty cool though. Another one that actually worked out really well was that one time at school we had to dress up for Halloween, and you know, I was kind of like, as always, a little bit late to like figure out what my costume was going to be. But what my dad did was he made me the demon from Kiss. He was a huge like 80s metal fan. So he knew, but he like went to Kiss concerts and all that kind of stuff. So what ended up happening was we had face paint as always. So he just took face paint, just drew the exact design on my face, and I went to school. And then the people that were running the the costume contest were like, you know, old teachers, and so they all knew Kiss, and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. I mean, it was my outfit. I didn't even have like the little armor on. I just had like my normal clothes, except my face paint was Kiss, and I just stuck my tongue out. And it was a hit. So then everybody was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" And then I ended up winning the Halloween costume contest. So that was just kind of like, you know, one of my cool little Halloween costumes that I was pretty proud of. But yeah, those are like all my stories of growing up. And the recurring thing was just like, you know, when you have to make your own costumes, it's pretty hard to do. And I think, you know, if I were ever to become a parent, I probably would allow my kids to have a costume, because it's just one of those small pleasures that you can give to somebody.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Other times what we would do when I got a lot older, when I was like probably like 17 or something, my friend, he had this like shed that was right next to his house. And so what we would do is we would climb on top of the shed, and then we would hand out candy, but instead of like putting it in people's basket, we would throw the candy at them. And it was kind of mean, but we would do that. And so they would knock and they go trick or treat, and then we go like, "All right, show us your basket." And then instead of throwing it into the basket, we would like throw like these bombs. We would throw pretty hard at the kids and throw like, you know, bags of M&Ms at them and candy bars and all that kind of stuff. And so that was kind of the extent of like the Halloween pranks that we got into. Another thing that we would do is we would like steal pumpkins, and then we would go onto the highway, and then we would just throw them up in the air, and they would explode all over the highway in our town. And then a lot of times, like, other people would just like go in a whole gang to Halloween. Like, they would get all their friends, and then you would knock on a door, and then the person would be overwhelmed by how many people were there, and so they would hold the basket to you, and then everybody would just take as much candy as they wanted. And that was some tactics people did in our town, was like they would have like a whole mob of 20 people, and then they would like get, the people that were asking to pass the candy would get tired of doing that, and it's like, "Here, take it," and then people would just like dump a lot of candy into their bag. But yeah, those are all some of the short stories that I wanted to share with you about growing up in a small town and celebrating Halloween and having weird parents that now buy you in any costume whatsoever. It kind of helped me as a person, because it kind of made me kind of creative. I consider myself to be really outside of the box type of thinker, and so if my parents bought me costumes, I probably wouldn't be as creative as I am currently. Other than that, I give you a big fat peace.